before you decide to have another child, think about your family situation, sisters. And sisters in particular, because a lot of times what happens is that many women run ahead and have kids before they're ready, or get with some Lola, legacy or low achievement man. They have a child when they're too young and don't have their lives together. And these are women of destiny. See, the thing about it is that men can identify women that have it going on. Women who they can ride the curtail, women that they want to tie down. I knew a guy years ago that there was this beautiful, dynamic girl that was in high school, and he was 2 years older than her. And all of a sudden I'm like, this is like an honor student. How she ended up pregnant? Well, he said he told her he wanted her to have a baby so that they could be connected to each other. And her being like 14 and him being like 18, she fell for it. And so she ended up having a kid with him, was tied to him. He ends up being nothing, and she ends up being everything, right? When you do that and you run ahead and you don't allow yourself to grow into the woman that you're going to be, you mess up things not only for yourself, that child, but your other children in your family. Now, let me talk about this. So just having left some family and friend situations over the holidays, there are a lot of really dynamic women. And when I say dynamic, I mean in every sense of the word, every type of careers. They got their shit together. They drive in nice cars. They, married to amazing men. But like Sierra, they've got a kid by a Lola, a legacy, a low achievement male. And it just brings so much drama into the family. So first of all, it's drama because what I'm seeing is that these men will go and have a bunch of different mixed match kids, and then the grandparents will have to take all these kids, Nick Cannon, take all these kids and try to bring them all together during the holidays. And they're mixed match. They brothers and sisters, half brothers and sisters, don't know each other, all being raised different ways. And it's just a hot mess. And the sad thing about it is those kids are missing their other siblings. They're missing their mama. They're missing their brother that's the same age as this brother. But probably the main thing that I want to say that you really need to think about is for black girls, a lot of times people make black girls, they adult them, and whoever the older sister is, they make her into the other mama, your sister wife instead of your daughter. And so what you need to be doing is allowing her to be a child, because here's what happens. You're a teenager, you go get with a Lola, you have a kid, and then some 20 years later, or 15 years later, you get your shit together and go and marry a dynamic man that you should have married in the first place, right? That you didn't give yourself time to meet because you were so caught up with that boy in high school and so caught up with that guy in college, right? And then you get with him and then start having kids. And then what happens is your older daughter, a lot of times that leads to a lot of shame for her, because people then think that your baby is hers. And haven't y'all seen that? Walked up on like a 13-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl, she's carrying a baby, and you're looking, I wonder if that's her baby. And 9 times out of 10, it's not her baby. It's her mama's baby, and her mama has started a second family because now she's going to get it right. So then you have your tester baby. You go have a child that you're not prepared to raise, have that tester baby, ruin their lives, and then make them the surrogate mother of the child, of your child. And then you'll say, well, that's the older sister's responsibility. I did it. But at the same time, you don't realize that you're messing up their sisterhood relationship. How many of you all, and I want y'all to chime in here, how many of y'all were the older sister or the sister that got designated to take care of all the siblings, and you grew up and then your relationship with your younger sibling or siblings is strained because they feel like that you're trying to tell them what to do, you're trying to boss them around? It's because you had to raise them. And the other thing is, you can't have your daughter raising your kids and then whenever you show up and come home, that she's supposed to give up all that responsibilities. Oh, she's just a little woman, she take care of the kids and she just like they mama. Well, guess what? People that take care of kids and people are just like they mama, they're having sex. They're grown. So you want them to act like a little girl and be your little girl, but they're doing everything else like a woman. They're raising kids. They're cleaning the house. They're, doing all these women adulthood responsibilities, but you don't expect them to like boys. You just want them to be there to take care of your child. Last thing I'm going to say, as a cheerleading coach, the times that I had to chunk cheerleaders off of my squad, is because they're missing key practices. We done paid somebody $1,500 to come in to teach a routine or teach our bases how to do something, and they don't show up for practice, and then the mama calls and wants to fight you. She had to keep her little brother and sister. She got 5 little brothers and sisters. She got to keep while I got to work. And I said, She is your child, but she's my cheerleader. And if my bases are not there, we stand to have injury. My cheerleading squad does not revolve around the fact that you had several or too many kids that you can't care for by men that don't care about you or their kids. My cheerleading squad can't revolve around that. So when you get your shit together, sister, you need to really think, do you really want to have a bunch of mixed match kids? Just like this, kids, parents come and grandparents come and pick them up for the weekend. You don't know who they around. You don't know. You sending your child off and trusting that the grandparents are going to be able to protect them. You don't know who's going to be there. But if you have a child with a man and you're co-parenting and your husband, when y'all go, when the 4th of July hit, Juneteenth hit, y'all all going to go and either visit his family or your family. So those are just some things to think about. When you start, patching kids together and all the mixed match kids and all that type of stuff, it's hard for the kids. And maybe it makes you happy to get a chance to start over and have a baby with your new husband. But what is your older daughter? Is she going to be shamed because everybody thinks that it's her kid? Is she going to be the one that's going to be responsible for it? Are you fucking up her relationship with her little sister or her little brother because you're adulting her and making her raise your kid? And then you'll be dead and they'll be grown and their sisterhood relationship is messed up because you made her play the mama.